The next Ajax framework we're going to work with is SAC, the Simple Ajax Code Kit. You can pick it up at this URL, twilightuniverse.com/project/SAC. And here's the web page corresponding to that URL. In order to get SAC, the support for SAC, which is a JavaScript file, you use this link down here, and you right-click it and select Save Target As. This will save the JS file, the JavaScript library file, and it's called tw-sac.js. That's the file you work with when you're working with SAC. You say, in order to include it and you make it available to the JavaScript in your web page, the script type equals text/JavaScript, source equals tw-sac.js. So that makes available the SAC library functions to your JavaScript in your web page. What we do in this case is we're going to write a demonstration program using SAC. When the display message button is clicked, we're going to use SAC to download text from the web server. In this case, the text we're going to download is sac.text, which includes simply this text. This data was fetched using SAC. So we should see, when I click the display message button, is the fetched data will go here, will be replaced by that text, will be replaced by the message inside sac.text. And as you see, that's exactly what happens. This data was fetched using SAC, thus is displayed. So that's how our example application is going to work. Let's take a look at the actual details. As you see, you start off by including tw-sac.js, and then you have a button, add a button with a caption display message, connect it to the getData JavaScript function, and here's what the getData JavaScript function looks like. This is how you work with SAC. You start off by creating a new SAC object. This is how you do that in JavaScript. You say new SAC. The SAC object is defined in tw-sac.js. So you create a new SAC object that way using this statement, this JavaScript statement. Then you can configure a set of variables to be passed to the web server. If you want to send data to the web server, in this case we're just going to include an empty string because we're not going to send any data to the web server. We're just going to request, and then you configure the properties of the SAC object like this. The request file is the URL that you are requesting, and that is just sac.text, and that is just this file on the server. This data was fetched using SAC as the contents. And then you set the method, parameter method attribute to get. The element attribute, if set, indicates to SAC which HTML element in your web page to replace with the contents of the fetched file. In this case, it's going to be the target div element, and it's going to be the fetch data will go here. The current contents of that div element named target div will be replaced by the contents of sac.text. So you say sac object.element is target div. That indicates the div element whose contents will be replaced with the downloaded data. And then to actually perform the Ajax operation, you call the run Ajax method of the SAC object, passing it the vars, the variables you want to pass to the web server. In this case, of course, that's just an empty string, so all we're really doing is fetching sac.text from the web server, downloading it using the get method, the get HTTP method, and replacing the target div element with the contents of the target div element with the downloaded data. As you see, that's exactly what happens when you click the display message button. This data was fetched using SAC, was indeed downloaded. So that's how to work with SAC. You have to create a new SAC object like this. The SAC object is defined in tw-sac.js, so you don't have to define it yourself. Create a new SAC object, and you configure it, and you run. Then you call the run Ajax method, and SAC will do the rest for you. So that's another good and useful Ajax framework available for free for you to download.